Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Barbara and this is BARB'S Philosophy. In today's video, I will explain all the steps in the ETIHAD cabin crew recruitment process and also share my recent experience. We are going to cover what can you expect, how to prepare, and also some of the reality check. So first and foremost, there are a couple of ways in which you can apply to become a cabin crew. First, you can apply online to the cabin crew worldwide position. In order to do so, you have to head to ETIHAD website, create your profile and apply. After the recruiter reviews the profile, you might be shortlisted and invited to the next step in the process, which will be video introduction. You will be asked to answer 3 simple questions. In the first question, you are asked to introduce yourself, include your height, work experience, and you must wrap it up in under 1 minute. In the second question, you will be asked what inspired you to join ETIHAD. In the last questions, you will need to answer what are the main responsibilities of a cabin crew. This step of the process is really crucial because it is the first impression that the recruiter is going to have of you, which is why you should make sure to look very neat, clean and elegant, meeting ETIHAD branding standards, and of course, prepare yourself beforehand. In order for you to feel good and confident, I highly encourage you to research as much as you can about the airline. So in case the questions are in any way different, you can also be prepared to answer. The good thing about this stage is that the time for each question is limited. However, you can re-record yourself as many times as you wish. Normally, you are going to get a specific time period to complete this task, which can be 7 days, 10 days, or maybe even 2 weeks. After you submit your video assessment, again, it is going to be reviewed. And if you are successful, you will be invited to the next stage, which can be either progressing to the assessment day online, or you will be invited to join in-person assessment day in the area where you are based. For this reason, it is very important that all the information that you provide on ETIHAD's website is accurate. Once you've received the invitation, you will need to prepare yourself for the assessment day specifically. This, however, can take weeks or even months. There are many candidates who wait even over 1 year to join assessment day, whether it's in person or online. There is, however, a way quicker way to join the airline. I'm talking, of course, about the in-person open days. The concept of the open day is that everybody can walk into this event, which means there is no pre-screening done for you to walk in. You can check the schedule of all recruitment events on the ETIHAD website, and of course, I'm also going to link it down below. Normally, you do not need to register yourself, but if you want, you can also confirm your attendance by filling a short form on ETIHAD's website and also printing out the invitation to bring in with you. When you go in, you should have with you your CV, your photographs, and the proof of registration. Again, if you registered yourself, if you are just coming very spontaneously, CV and photographs are going to be enough. During the open day, the concept is that you speak to the recruiter and answer a few light questions. Depending on the volume of the open day, meaning amount of candidates, it can be kept really short, or maybe there will be some extra activities. Candidates in the recent months have reported they had a card activity and also pairs activity. In a card activity, you're choosing one card with one random word written on it. It can be anything. It can be fast food, it can be park, seaside, train, communication, literally it can be anything, which is why it is very hard for you to prepare yourself. In this task, they are of course testing your ability to work under pressure and your creativity in solving problems. Even though you cannot of course learn the whole dictionary, you can simply say what it is, what is it used for, and your positive experience with an item. It is also very important that you don't say anything negative. So even if the topic might be quite controversial, like money, like politics, or whatever else, you want to remain neutral, you want to remain observant and use as positive language as possible. If you want to train your ability of improvisation, I can recommend you 2 websites where you can find random word generator. As you're approaching your open day, you can play it with your partner, with your friend, and make it something fun for you. And it can take the pressure off you in the long term. In the pair activity, candidates were asked to introduce themselves. So you will be assigned a partner, you talk for a minute, you learn as much as you can about this person, and then you present them to the recruiter. If you want to be up to date with all the new tasks and experiences of everybody, you might want to consider joining few Facebook groups. There are also plenty of coaches who specifically specialize in preparing candidates for their open days, and very often they also share a lot of useful information. Lastly, in the light questions section, you might be asked to introduce yourself, tell the recruiter why you want to be a cabin crew, tell the recruiter why specifically do you want to join Etihad, or anything of that sort. And here again, the more research you do, the better for you. What I did, I literally went on Etihad's website and I opened every single tab that they have. Having a very big bank of knowledge about the airline, about their values, about what they are looking for, will help you present yourself in the right way. And here, I don't mean that you are expected to lie, of course not, but there is a way in which you can relate your work experience to working in an airline environment. If you have no clue how to translate your work experience and include some of this airline jargon, here I can recommend working with ChatGPT. We are so lucky that we have these wonderful tools available to us, and there's no reason why you shouldn't be using it. Of course, it is best that you create your own answers and you're able to describe everything with your own words, because of course it's also not possible to learn everything by heart and be natural. So get some help, get inspiration, but make sure it's you who is answering the questions. I think it's needless to say, but you must be a master of your CV. You must learn to describe every work experience and every skill that you have in a way that makes you a perfect candidate. For example, instead of saying, I am a receptionist who help guests with check-in and check-out, it is so much more effective when you say, I deliver exceptional service to international guests in resort environment, making sure that they feel welcomed, valued, supported, and comfortable throughout their stay. I think you see where I'm going with this right now. You want to show that you are somebody who is overseeing guest needs, who is proactive, who is a team player, who thrives under pressure and can handle different tasks, different time zones, different teams every single day. After these tasks are over, you might proceed to the physical check, which is checking your height, your scars, and your tattoos. Now, depending on the event, this might be done in person or you might be simply asked to fill a survey. Around 7 p.m. the same day, you will receive feedback from Etihad, informing you if you are shortlisted and you can proceed to the next step, which is assessment day, or if unfortunately you didn't make it this time. Depending on the city and number of the candidates, the whole process can take from 2 up to 3 days. So if you're flying from different city, make sure to have this amount of time available, so if you are successful, you can complete the process. During the assessment day, there will be a presentation about the company, group activity. Some destinations, there was a Kahoot test, which again, this proves my point about learning as much as you can about the airline itself and about UAE as a country. If you have successfully progressed through all of these stages, you will make it to the final interview, which can happen on the same day or the next day. The very last step of the process is English test, which is sent to you via email, and again you have a couple of days to complete that. The decision whether you are going to be hired or not is made considering all the steps in the process. Whether you are going through the in-person route or the digital route, remember to always be smiley, to always present yourself well, and remember that recruiters are watching you at all times. If you're coming to a big event, don't sit there looking at your phone, just engage with other candidates. Make sure that you're not looking grumpy, that you're nodding, that you're listening. Interrupting is a big no-no. And of course, bring your confidence. So that's it. This is how the process looks like. So if you're preparing, you can know more or less what you can expect. If you're attending any of the upcoming Etihad Open Days, I wish you so much luck. I hope that you make it and you make your dreams come true. Now we are in the part of the video when we are going to move forward to my recent experience. So if you want to know how does the theory and reality check out together, keep on watching.
Just as many other hopeful candidates, I traveled to Istanbul. I was actually supposed to join the Warsaw Open Day, but unfortunately it got cancelled. And here is my little tip for everybody traveling to these things. Do not book your plane tickets, your hotel stay too early, because one thing about the airline events, things can change quite dynamically. Luckily, my journey went very smooth and I checked into the hotel one day before the event. When it comes to logistics, I also chose a hotel as close as possible to the event place, so I am not stressing in the morning, can enjoy a good night's sleep and feel good on the big day. The crazy aspect about this whole thing is that you truly don't know how far you're going to make it, which is why I recommend booking hotels and flights with flexible dates.
Good morning. I am fresh out of the CV drop and I wanted to share share my experience and observations with you. During the open day, you can come anytime between 9 and 5. I thought coming in the morning is gonna be nice because probably there's not gonna be so many people. Wrong. There were so many people already before 9. I don't know, maybe around 200 people were already there. So the event, first of all, was way bigger than what I expected. However, I will say waiting in line and having opportunity to chat with other candidates was definitely a great experience for me, and I think for everybody else, because it helps you calm your nerves a little bit, familiarize yourself with the place, and just overall feel more confident. Most of the people register online, and when you register online, you have to bring certain documents with you, which I'm gonna show you right now. I had this kind of plastic file to protect my documents. Inside we have a CV, we have a proof of registration, and additionally I took my headshots. So these were the documents I showed up with. I already knew and expected that time with recruiters might be very limited because probably they're going to have hundreds of people to assess that day. However, I did not fully expect for it to be what it actually was. After you enter the room, you go to one of two recruiters. One of them was actual recruiter, meaning like in a normal work clothes, let's say. Another one was who I think is a pursuer. So there was a lady in an ETIHAD uniform. I had a chance to speak with her. Overall, the recruiters made sure that there is a friendly atmosphere. As soon as I came into the room, she greeted me, asked how are you, and then proceeded to ask me to introduce myself. I already, of course, had this prepared. Firstly, I thanked her for the opportunity to introduce myself. Then I said my lines, and again thanked at the end. After that, she asked me to scan a code, and that was it. There was no notes taken about me, no candidate number, no nothing. So after this 1 minute which I spent with the recruiter, I go outside to fill the form. The form asked really basic things: my name, surname, age, contact information, if I have any tattoos, if I'm willing to serve alcohol during Ramadan, if I have like any legal actions against me which would restrict my ability to travel. And then there was a part in which you have to describe your CV. There was also a format to follow. They asked for role, company, time frame, and why you left. These are the only 4 things they asked for. This is what my really beautifully crafted detailed CV came down to be. Few lines, no pictures, no bullet points, no nothing, not even a location. So after I submitted it, I cannot lie, I felt many different emotions. I'm a little bit scared because I really don't know how this assessment is going to go. Decision who is going to be invited tomorrow or not is, what I understand, based solely on the short survey, because they don't even know who am I, how do I look like, what kind of actual experience I bring, what countries I worked in. So yeah, I can only hope for the best, but yes, I am overall left with mixed emotions. This is not really exactly how I expected to be, but fingers crossed, around 7 today I'm going to find out if I'm invited or not, and that's it. I'm going to keep you posted. It's been a few days, and unfortunately I am very sad to report that at 7 the following day I got rejection email. This decision on one hand came to me as a complete shock. On the other hand, as you already know, I was kind of expecting this due to the fact how the whole process was handled. As soon as I found out, I took a flight home, so I'm already back home, staying in Istanbul. It's very expensive, and anybody who has traveled there will know very well what I'm talking about. I absolutely understand that I might not be what the airline is looking for. I'm not saying I'm a perfection or that anybody owes me anything. However, I do think that if the event is organized in a concept of an open day where every person is supposed to be assessed, bringing it down to a form of a Google Sheet survey, it's really not fair. I really feel very deeply that I was actually deprived of a chance to be properly assessed. In hindsight, when I was thinking about it, I don't even understand why we were supposed to introduce ourselves to the recruiter when at the end of the day the recruiter themselves has no idea who did they just speak to, who was presenting themselves in a way that they wanted or were expecting candidates to present themselves, and who was absolutely not what they were looking for. So it is very likely that a lot of great people with a lot of potential got rejected based on a survey, and a lot of people who couldn't even communicate properly passed. Again, I don't want to say that I'm better than anybody else. In fact, seeing all the candidates was such a great experience because it really felt like we are all on the same boat, and I didn't feel competition while waiting in line at all. If anything, the atmosphere coming from most of the people, including myself, was supporting. I really wanted to see as many people as I can succeed. From what I know and understand about how most of these processes work, most of the recruiters have requirements beforehand. For example, they are looking for people with previous cabin crew experience, or they are looking for French speakers, or they are looking specifically for men, or they are looking for very specific criteria. That's totally okay. However, if a company is creating an event which requires candidates to travel to a different city for a couple of days, which of course is not cheap because you have to cover your own flights, your own hotel, eating out while you're in a different city. I wish they did it with more thought. I'm especially disappointed because I actually previously applied to ETIHAD in January 2024, and based on my CV, which I filled very carefully in the ETIHAD system, I was invited to the next stage, which was video introduction, after which my application was in progress or under review. After a couple of months, I got invited to attend few assessment events. I got an email which was listing all the assessment events that I could possibly attend. Unfortunately, last year I was unable to attend these events at the dates that the company was requesting, which is why I needed to wait for my second chance, which also makes me so confused because last year I had less experience overall attending these days. I had less work experience. In a way, I see myself as arriving as a better version of myself this year with more confidence, more knowledge, more awareness. Basically, I really did not expect to get rejected at the very basic screening stage. What I did not tell you is also this is not my first application. Previous to attending the ETIHAD Open Day, I already attended 5 different events of a similar nature. So in total, I applied to 4 different airlines, and my experience or this basic criteria were never the reason for any of these airlines, including ETIHAD a year ago, to reject me. If you shared my experience, I hope this video can give you a little bit of comfort, knowing that of course there were so many people who also went through it. I'm very sorry if this happened to you, and also if you put so much time, effort and energy into preparing yourself. On the other hand, I'm keeping my fingers crossed for all the aspiring cabin crew who are still trying their chances. As for me, I'm really not sure where I stand. I really truly believed I might make it this time. It didn't happen. I am still gathering myself emotionally. I'm deciding where to go from here because this position and this company has been really one of my biggest dreams of my life. I have been actively trying to get into this field for around 2 years so far without any luck, especially considering the situation in the Middle East. I think it might be getting only harder and harder. I want to stay positive. I want to believe it can still happen, but truly I am not sure anymore. With that being said, I have quite a lot of material recorded from my previous open days, and even I have currently one ongoing process as well. So if you're interested in that, finding out how does the recruitment process in various airlines look like, what can you expect, and what to do to prepare yourself, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit this notification button so you don't miss my next video, and it's gonna be a good one. Thank you so much for watching, and if any of you watching this has made it, I really want to wish you all the best and my warmest congratulations. If you attended the same open day or any other open days with ETIHAD, you're also most welcome to share your experience down below so we can all learn from each other. Thank you once again, and I'm going to see you in my next videos. Bye!